Boker Tov, we are doing Daf Yomi, Avodah Zarah, Daf Nun Chet. So we left off in the story with an incident that happened on Daf Nun Zayin Amud Bet, that there was a non-Jew that wanted to buy some wine. And he asked the shopkeeper, "Do you have wine?" The guy told him no, he didn't want to sell him wine. So he saw that there was wine in a barrel, in a bucket right next to him. So he put his hand in the bucket, shook it, right, to kind of to prove his point that, oh, look, you see it's wine. And then the shopkeeper, he got upset and he threw it into the big cask. And now Rava said that it was allowed. Rav Huna Bar Chinana and Rav Huna, the son of Rav Nachman, both said that it was asur. So says the Gemara, Ikla Rav Huna berei de Rav Nachman lemchuza. Rav Huna berei de Rav Nachman came to Mechuza. He came to the place where the story happened. Amar le Rava le Rav Eliakim Shameh. So Rava told Rav Eliakim his helper, Trok trok gali. De lo nitu inishi denitrud al denitrid. Close the door quickly and make sure that people don't come to bother me. He didn't want to see him. Ali Gabe, regardless, he still came to him. Amarle, ki hai gavna mai. So he told him, Rav Huna berei de Rav Nachman, he told Rava, what's the halacha in a similar case like this? Amarle, asur afilu be'ana'a. It's asur even for benefiting. So he told him, wait a second. V'hamar hu de'amar shirshech en oseh yain neser. But weren't you the one that said that it's going to be allowed? Meaning, the guy, he put his finger in and he shook it around, he made it asur. And you said it's allowed. So he told him, Emo de'amri ana levar mideme. When did I say that it's going to be allowed? When did I say that it's going to be allowed be'ana'ah? It's only in regard to the rest of the wine, meaning the value of whatever was thrown into the cask, this is going to be asur. When I said it's going to be at mutar, I said everything else but whatever was thrown into whatever was in the bucket and was thrown into the barrel, that's going to be
subtracted.
Allowed. Exactly. Besides for the value of that wine, so says the Gemara, wait a second. The did I say that, like, meaning he said the amount that was thrown in, I never said that that's going to be allowed. The only thing that I said is going to be allowed is the wine that was in the barrel beforehand. So says the Gemara, Amarava ki atai lepum bedita. When I came to Pum Bedita, Afkan Nachmani shamateta umatnita de asir. Nachmani came out and he said, and he showed me a Braita and a Mishnah that said that it's going to be asur. Shmateta, what was the Braita? Or the Shmateta is more accurately is the teachings of Tanaim, Amoraim, sorry. There was a story that happened in Narda, and Shmuel made it asur. Bitveria, in another story similar that happened to this, in Tiveria, Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan said that it's going to be asur.
He agitated the wine, but
Yeah.
he didn't do it for purpose of a libation. He just did
Exactly. He just shook it, which was similar to our case because the guy just put his hand and shook the wine to show that it was wine, right? So it happened also in Tiveria, and Rabbi Yochanan said it's asur. Ve'amrile, and I told Abaye, he says, okay, Rava says that he told Abaye, lefi she'enan b'nei Torah. The reason why it was asur in Na'ada. Okay, the reason why Shmuel made it asur in Na'ada and Rabbi Yochanan made it asur in Tiveria is because the people of those places are not bnei Torah, and they won't know the difference between if it was done for Avodah Zarah and not done for Avodah Zarah. Therefore, they said it. Exactly. Ve'amar li, and Abaye told me, Tiveria v'Na'ada enan bnei Torah. Mechoza bnei Torah. So what? You think that the people of Mechoza are more bnei Torah than Tiveria and Na'ada? So therefore, Rava said, from here I learned that it's going to be, even if he shakes it for not Avodah Zarah purposes, it's still going to be asur. Matnita, what was the Mishnah that shows that it's going to be asur? The agardamim oved kochavim shekadach b'meneket ve'ela. There was a
superintendent.
Yeah, he's coming to check the wine. okay, that was a non-Jew, that comes and stuck a tube into the barrel, and he put up some, and he pulled up some wine. Or he tasted from a cup of wine, and then he put it back into the barrel. This was an actual story. The Mishnah is saying this was an actual story, and Chachamim said it's going to be asur. My love be'ana'a. Says the Gemara, okay, but maybe you're going to say they only said that it's asur be'ana'a. Bishtia, but maybe it should be it should be asur be'ana'a. Says the Gemara, no, bishtia. Maybe it's only asur bishtia. Says the Gemara, wait a second. If you're trying to tell me that this case was only asur bishtia, but mutar be'ana'a, and this is going to be like the original thought of Rava, ihachi litni macher kedekatani seifa. Let it say that it should be sold. That such a case, the wine can be sold, like it says in the seifa. That what the seifa says, charam oved kochavim sheoshit yado lechavit v'kesavu sheshemen hi. If a let's say like a little bit not normal non-Jew put his hand into the wine, into the barrel, and he thought it was shemen, he thought it was oil. Okay, v'nintzet shel yain, and afterwards found to be wine. Ze haya maaseh. There was an actual story like this. Ve'amru Yimacher, and they said it should be sold. So we see from the Sefer that they very clearly said Yimacher, that it should be sold. So that means if it said Asur in the Resha, it means Asur even Behana'ah. So says the Gemara, Tiyufta de Rava, Tiyufta, this was an actual good question on Rava, and therefore we see that it's going to be Asur. Okay, Rabbi Yochanan ben Arza Rabbi Yossi ben Nehorai havu yatvu v'kashatu chamra. Rabbi Yochanan ben Arza and Rabbi Yossi ben Nehorai were sitting and drinking wine. Atahu gavra, there was a waiter basically that came by, the person that came by. Amrulei, they told him, ta'ashkinan, come pour us some wine. Levatar de Rama, after he poured them the cup of wine, iglai milta de oved kochavimhu. It became known that the person that poured them was a non-Jew. Chad asar afilu be'ana'a, v'chad shari afilu b'shtiya. So one of the rabbis said that it's going to be it's going to be asur even to benefit, like all yain nesech, and the other one says that it's going to be mutar even to drink. Amar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi says, Man de asar, shapir asar. The one that said it's asur said that is good, meaning that opinion is good. Uman de shari, shapir shari, and the opinion that said it's going to be mutar, even that opinion is going to be okay.
Well, explain that to me.
Exactly, the Gemara is going to explain it to you. Man de asar. So now the Gemara explains the opinion that says it's asur. Why? It's very simple. Memar amar. The person when the Mema masal kadate de Rabanan kihana shichra kashatu. Okay, so he tells himself that is it normal for such rabbis, meaning such important people, they're going to ask me to pour beer? Meaning the thought which is going to go between the two rabbis, and we're going to explain both sides, is basically, do we say that when the non-Jew poured them the wine that he thought it was wine, or do we think that and then for sure it's going to be asur, or do we think that when the non-Jew poured it to them, he thought that he was pouring them beer, and then it would be mutar. And the Gemara is going to explain why, if he thought it was going to be beer, it's going to be mutar. So now the Gemara is focusing on this, the side that I said it as asur. Why? Because when the non-Jew came and he poured the rabbi's wine, they asked him to pour him. What is he thinking? He's for sure telling himself, listen, these rabbis, they're not going to ask me to pour them beer. Beer is like it's a cheapy drink. So they're asking me to pour wine. And if they're asking me to pour wine, that means that there's a problem of yain nesach, because when he's pouring it, maybe he's pouring for the sake of avodah zarah, and it's going to turn into yain nesach. So the opinion that said it's asur, it's because of that. Ela vadai hai chamrahu v'naske, and he's making it turning into yain nesech. Man deshari, but the opinion that said it's going to be mutar even b'shtia shapir shari. He said good. Why? Memar amar. Well, the non-Jew, when he's pouring the wine, he for sure says sarka daitach de rabanan ki hani chamra kashatu. Chachamim are going to tell me to pour them wine. There's a whole halacha. Everyone know, all the non-Jews know that there's a problem of yain nesech. Ve'amar leili didi ta'ashkinan. The
It's got to be
rabbis.
beer. It got to be beer.
Exactly, the rabbis are. He's going to say what? The rabbis are going to tell me to pour wine? No, they're for sure telling me to pour because it's beer over here. What I'm pouring. So when he's going to be pouring it, he's going to think that it's beer, and if he thinks it's beer, he's for sure not going to have in mind to turn it into yain nesech. Says the Gemara, he sees. What do you mean? He sees what he's pouring them. He sees he's pouring them wine, or he sees he's pouring them beer. Says the Gemara, it was night, he couldn't see. So it says, wait a second. He smells the wine. He smells. There's a very distinct smell between wine and beer. So says the Gemara, no, it was a new wine. But he's touching it. Says the Gemara, it was only in the pitcher. He didn't actually touch it. And in that case, it's going to be considered like the touch of Avodah Kochavim. That if it's not intentional, it's going to be ve'asur, and it's going to be asur. Says the Gemara, lo tzricha, no. Dekam morik, okay, he was actually only just pouring it. V'havale kocho shelo bechavana, and that's going to be considered kocho, his strength, shelo bechavana, without intent. V'chol kocho shelo bechavana lo gazru berabanan. And when it's in that case where it was without intent, it was only his strength and not his actual touch, shelo bechavana, then chachamim. Chachamim didn't make
the important part is that pouring was only used when it's right in front of the idol. When it's
Exactly.
not in front of the idol, the agitation is the problem.
Exactly. So normally, when is the yain nesach a problem? When you shake it. And over here, since it wasn't in front of the avodah zarah, he was just pouring it. It's called kocho, and kocho shelo bechavana. He doesn't have any intent. He didn't know it was wine. So that's when it's going to be mutar. Ba mine Rav Asi mi Rabbi Yochanan. Rav Asi asked Rabbi Yochanan, Yain shemisacho oved kochavim mahu. A wine that misacho, we're going to see is he basically diluted it. Okay, it's a different word for diluted. Normally, the word for diluting wine, what do we say? Shemizago. So, but he said shemisacho oved kochavim mahu. What's the halacha going to be in this case? Amarle. Why are you saying misacho? Just say mizago. Amarle, ana kidichtiv kamina. I'm telling it to you like it's written in the pasuk. Tavcha, tivcha, mascha yena. Okay, she slaughtered the meat and she diluted the wine. This is a pasuk. Amarle, lishon Torah leatzma, lishon chachamim leatzmo. So leave the lashon of the Torah for when we're talking in the words of Torah, but when we're talking in words of Gemara, talk the words of Gemara, which would mean mizago. Okay, having said that, says the Gemara, what's the actual halacha? If a non-Jew waters down the wine, what's the actual halacha? Amarle, asur, he said to him, it's going to be asur. Mishum, lech amrin al-nezira, secho, lechama lo tikav. We tell the Nazir, go away, do not approach the vineyard. Meaning, there is no isur for the Nazir to get close to a vineyard. The only isur is what? For him to eat the grapes, for him to squeeze the grape, not to squeeze, to drink the grape juice, to drink wine. There's no isur for the Nazir to get close to a vineyard. However, Chachamim always told us that you should tell the Nazir, get away from the vineyard. Don't come close to the vineyard. Why? Because if you're going to get close to the vineyard, you might bring yourself to temptation, and you might chas v'shalom fall in the trap. Therefore, the same thing over here is, even though technically, what's the problem? He's pouring water. The non-Jew is diluting the wine. He's pouring water. He's not touching the wine. He's not doing anything to the wine. However, regardless, Chachamim said, stay away from something like this. Do not get close, because you're going to start with the watering down, and then chas v'shalom it can end up with the actual yain nesach.
Suspend the recording for a second.
Okay, says the Gemara, Rabbi Yomi ikla lesavta. Rabbi Yirmiyah came to the place of Savta. Chaza chamra de mazge avdei kochavim v'ishte Yisrael mineh. He saw that the non-Jews were diluting the wine, and the Jews were drinking from it. Ve'asar lehu, and he said it's going to be asur mishum. Why? Because lech lech amrina nezira sechol sechol lekar malot ikav. Once again, because of the same gezerah that we tell them to lengthen themselves from the avera, we tell the nazir don't come close to the vineyard so that he shouldn't chas v'shalom do the isur. Itbanami, it was also taught similarly. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, "Ve'amri la." Amar Rabbi Asi, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. There are some that say that it was Rabbi Asi that said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Yain shemizago oved kochavim aso. Wine that a non-Jew diluted is going to be asur. Mishum lech lech amrina nezira sechol sechol lechal malot ikav. Go away, don't come close to the vineyard, we tell to the Nazir. So, says the Gemara, Resh Lakish ikla le Botzra. Resh Lakish came to the city called Botzra. Okay? Chaza Yisrael deka'achli pere de lo ma'asri. He saw that there were Jews that were eating from fruits that were not taken of Ma'aser. Now, it's important to know that there were two cities. There was Betzer and Botzra. Betzer was
desert.
Exactly. It was part of the 12 tribes, and Chachamim also said that over there you should have to take off Trumot u'Maasot. So he got confused and he thought that this place Botzra was like Betzer, and he saw them eating from fruits that weren't taken Trumot u'Maasot, and he said it's going to be asur. Okay. Ata lekamei sorry, v'shatu מעשרי ועשר להו, חז ימי דסגדי להו עובדי כוכבים ושתו ישראל, ועשר להו, and he also saw that there was water, that the non-Jews bowed down to the water, and he told the Jews over there that it's going to be asur to drink this water. עתה לקמא דרבי יוחנן, he came before Rabbi Yochanan, אמר לי, and Rabbi Yochanan told him, הדמוקטרח הלך, while your coat is still on you, זיל Hadar, go back and tell them it's going to be water. Why? Betzer lav hainu botzra. Betzer, which was actual part of the inheritance of Bnei Israel, is not like botzra. Umayim shel rabim en nesarin, and water of public, meaning even if the non-Jews bow down to water that was to water that belonged to the public, it's not going to be asur. Okay. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן ואמן.